comfort is the promise. Flip a couple pages over to the right to Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51, beginning in verse 3. Isaiah says, "The Lord will surely comfort Zion." Zion is a word Isaiah uses for the city of Jerusalem, specifically not the dirt that it sits on and not the buildings that it has, but the meaning of Jerusalem. What Jerusalem was intended to be, that's the word Zion. The Lord will surely comfort Zion and will look with compassion on all her ruins. He will make her deserts like Eden, the place where God created Adam and Eve. Her wastelands like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in her, thanksgiving and the sound of singing. Listen to me, my people. Hear me, my nation. Instruction will go out from me. My justice will become a light to the nations. My righteousness draws near speedily. My salvation is on the way, and my arm will bring justice to the nations. The islands will look to me and wait in hope for my arm. Lift up your eyes to the heavens. Look at the earth beneath. The heavens will vanish like smoke. The earth will wear out like a garment, and its inhabitants die like flies. But my salvation will last forever. My righteousness will never fail. God says, I'm going to bring it. It's going to come. Just wait. Be comforted because the salvation is on its way. Skip down to verse 11. Those the Lord has rescued will return. They will enter Zion with singing. Everlasting joy will crown their heads. Gladness and joy will overtake them, and sorrow and sighing will flee away. I, even I, am he who comforts you. Who are you that you fear mere mortals, human beings who are but grass, that you forget the Lord your Maker, who stretches out the heavens and who lays the foundations of the earth, that you live in constant terror every day because of the wrath of the oppressor who's bent on destruction? For where is the wrath of the oppressor? The cowering prisoners will soon be set free. They will not die in their dungeon, nor will they lack bread. For I am the Lord your God, who stirs up the sea so that its waves roar. The Lord Almighty is his name. I have put my words in your mouth and covered you with the shadow of my hand. I who set the heavens in place, who laid the foundations of the earth, and who say to Zion, you are my people. See, he says, I'm going to comfort you with my own hand. You're my people. I will take care of you. Why fear? Why have terror at the hand of the human being? Because I made the ocean. That's what he's saying. One more. Isaiah 52, beginning in verse 4. For this is what the sovereign Lord says. At first, my people went down to Egypt to live. Lately, Assyria has oppressed them. And now, what do I have here? Declares the Lord. For my people have been taken away for nothing. Now listen, God here says it's not that the people were taken away because there was some grand plan. God is going to turn it into good. We know there is a grand plan, but he's talking about the evil of the oppression, and he says the evil has no point. See, evil itself is pointless. My people have been taken away for nothing, and those who rule them mock, declares the Lord. And all day long my name is constantly blasphemed. Therefore my people will know my name. Therefore in that day they will know that it is I who foretold it. Yes, it is I. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation, who say to Zion, your God reigns. Listen, your watchmen lift up their voices. Together they shout for joy. When the Lord returns to Zion, they will see it with their own eyes. Burst into songs of joy together, you ruins of Jerusalem. For the Lord has comforted his people. He has redeemed Jerusalem. The Lord will lay bare his holy arm in the sight of the nations. And all the ends of the earth will see the salvation of our God. That's what Simeon was waiting for. He was waiting for the day when God would do what he said he was going to do. That's what was on his Christmas list. In fact, if you read Isaiah 66, it even uses the metaphor of a woman in labor. That's the pain that the people were going through. But the knowledge that salvation is on the way is like a child that you know you're willing to go through the pain and suffering for, because on the other side of the pain and suffering, there's the joy of the new birth. And that's what God says, I am bringing my salvation. And though there's pain for a moment, the salvation is coming. Hang in there. Comfort is coming. And then one extra thing happens. In Isaiah 52, verse 11, the story begins to change ever so slightly. Up until now, it was just a promise of God giving comfort. But in verse 11, something happens. Watch. Depart, depart, go out from there. Touch no unclean thing. Come out from it and be pure, you who carry the articles of the Lord's house. But you will not leave in haste or go in flight, for the Lord will go before you. The God of Israel will be your rear guard. It's more than a promise of comfort. Now it's a promise of his presence. Keep going. See, my servant will act wisely. He will be raised and lifted up and highly exalted. Just as there were many who were appalled at him, his appearance was so disfigured beyond that of any human being, and his form marred beyond human likeness. So he will sprinkle many nations, and kings will shut their mouths because of him. For what they were not told, they will see, and what they have not heard, they will understand. All of a sudden, what happens in Isaiah's prophecies, beginning in that section right there, it takes a turn where no longer is the promise just of comfort. The promise has become a promise of a person. One that Isaiah calls my servant. Other places in Isaiah refer to him as the anointed one, or if we were speaking Hebrew, Messiah. See, Isaiah says the comfort is coming, and it's going to be revealed in a person called the Messiah. And when the Messiah is on the scene, it's as if God himself is on the scene. Isaiah is the one who uses the word Emmanuel, which means God with us, way back in chapter 7. God is coming and bringing his comfort in the form of the Messiah. That's what Simeon was waiting for. The world around Simeon was filled with tragedy and hardship and frustration and pain. But on the top of his Christmas list, he had the consolation of Israel and the coming Messiah. How does that compare to our Christmas lists? Now, there's this scene we're going to see next Saturday in the Charlie Brown Christmas story, where someone asks Sally what she wants for Christmas, and she goes, world peace. And someone asks Lucy what she wants for Christmas, and she says, real estate. I just think that contrast is amazing in the story. We'll see that one on Saturday, but I'm teasing it just a little bit today. But here's the thing. Ultimately, we know there are big requests and there are small requests, and it's easier to ask for the small requests. And we focus on the small requests. And so just to highlight the smallness of our requests, I want to look at a clip from the Christmas Story movie. Maybe this Christmas Story clip will let you know just a little bit about the kinds of things we put on our Christmas list. Go ahead.
Ah, there it is. The holy grail of Christmas gifts, the Red Ryder 200-shot range model air rifle. And there he is, Red Ryder himself. In his hand was the knurled stock of as coolly deadly-looking a piece of weaponry as ever I had laid eyes on.
What I want for Christmas is a Red Ryder BB gun with a compass and a stock and this thing which tells time. Wow, that's great. I think that everybody should have a Red Ryder BB gun. They're very good for Christmas. I don't think that a football is a very good Christmas present.
Oh, rarely had the words poured from my penny pencil with such feverish fluidity.
I've always wondered why you need a compass in the stock of your BB gun and the thing that tells time. It always confuses me. My question to you is, with all the stuff going on in the world, with all the stuff going on in that kid's life, why would he ask for a BB gun? Well, I'll just tell you the answer. It's because he already has a roof and a doorway and a bed and a mom and a dad and food and clothes. See, there are two kinds of Christmas lists. There's the kind of stuff that we think will make us happy, and there's the kind of stuff we need. I remember Christmas a few years ago where the number one thing on my list, when my dad said, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, "Dad, cash. Send money. As much as you can, as fast as you can, and I'm not buying things with it. I'm just paying bills." I've been in that place where I know there's a difference between the Christmas list of the things that I think might make me happy or feel good and the things that I need. And we tend to put the stuff on our list of the things that make us happy because we're really afraid to ask for the things that we need. There are two things everybody wants all the time, and Christmas brings it to the forefront. And those two things are peace and joy. Joy is easy to fabricate. Peace is not. We can imitate joy. We can pretend joy. An iPad can make me feel certain feelings that I will communicate to myself are joy. I will tweet that. I have so much joy in my iPad, and I will use the iPad to tweet such things. But peace is much harder to fabricate. And I think the reason we focus on the trinkets so much is that we're afraid if we were to focus on the truth, the real stuff, the things that our hearts really want, peace on earth, as the angels promised, we're afraid God's going to disappoint us. Now, disappointment is the hardest thing to deal with at Christmas time. I want to show you another thing here that might be interesting to you. This is a little illustration of some Christmas disappointment. If you can read that, you will see not only does the paper say peace, but what happens here is anything but peaceful. The black letters, I'll read to you, it says, "To Charlie from Santa." It's a little hard to read. Santa apparently likes big block capital letters when he writes, "To Charlie from Santa." I remember this day vividly. I have no recollection of any other Christmas gift that happened, but this one from Santa, I am never going to forget. I think my son will never forget this Christmas gift because you have to see what he brought.